everyone, welcome back to another video. I am just about to open another ScrawlrBox, but before we get started, I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you. As you may have noticed, there have been a lot of unboxings of art supply subscription boxes and also studio vlogs, and I've also posted kind of sporadically. I talked more about this in my previous vlog if you would like to check that out, but just real short, I just want to say that I know that my content has been a little repetitive lately. Studio vlogs, unboxing videos. I've just been really busy trying to balance my art business and my personal life. I also haven't felt super inspired to create videos, so I had to sort of compromise. Vlogs and unboxing videos are kind of easy and relaxing content for me to make, but lately I have actually felt more inspired to create more different content. And if you have any suggestions what you would like to see on this channel, it doesn't necessarily have to be drawing and painting. It can be something totally different as long as it is in the creative realm. What I'm trying to say is that don't worry, my channel is not all about vlogs and unboxing videos. I have plans to do other things too. I've just been waiting for the inspiration to strike, and don't worry, if you like unboxing videos and vlogs, I will still be doing those, but I want to mix them up with something else. Thank you so much for watching my videos and for being patient. Also, one more thing before we get on with the unboxing. My shop is currently open, so if you would like to get art prints, stickers, keychains, necklaces, feel free to check that out. I will leave a link in the description box below. Alright, enough talking, let's get on with the video. Everything looks intact for once. So this is the box of July. I love the color scheme, the featured art, very minimalistic, made by Christina Kwan, and this is where you can find their art. And Christina is apparently known for her abstract and floral work, so I guess this must be like an abstract flower. Also looks like watercolors, or maybe not. This is acrylic paper with a bit of a canvas-like texture. It doesn't look like acrylic paint, but maybe acrylic ink. The easiest way to find out is just to open this. We got the sticker with the same green, bluish, yellow pattern. Move this out. Oh, alright, we got liquid acrylic colors in yellow, red, white, and like an emerald green. So we got some candy. I'm guessing it must be sour, so I think I will pass on this one. Got a round paintbrush, very long and pointy. Very interesting font where it looks like it's been smudged. These ones I do recognize, the Marabou graphics fine liners. Yeah, I do have one of these already, but these are colored fine liners, while these are in different sizes. Oh, we got a brush one as well. Ooh, 0.2, 0.4, 0.8, and brush. And the challenge or prompt for this box is in bloom. Also, I highly recommend you to check out the Scrawler scene because it got some really nice tips and tricks about the art supplies and also some other interesting content. This is featured art from previous challenges, and again some tips and tricks about the art supplies and information about the featured artists. I am very curious about these acrylic paints, so oh, look at that tiny little nozzle. Maybe I should get some water for this. There we go. And that is a nice stiff brush. I prefer the stiffer kind of bristles because they're easier to control when painting, but it kind of depends on what medium you're using. Add a little red, a little yellow. What I'm noticing right away is that they look kind of transparent, more like watercolors kind of. Looking at the featured art, it looks very watercolorish, so yeah, it looks very translucent. Let's add a little bit of water to it. Yeah, that's a very nice pinkish magenta color. The thing with acrylic paint is that when it dries, it becomes permanent. As you can see here, you can see the outline of the paint. We have the yellow with a little bit of water. And we have the white. The colored one felt very watery and translucent, while this white one is much thicker. Since it is white, I can't really tell if it is translucent or not, but it feels more opaque. Also, now you can see the texture of the paper a little better. Let's try out the fine liners. Oh, Oh my, that is a soft brush nib. I mean, brush nibs are supposed to be flexible. This one kind of bends in a weird way. Look at that, it kind of bends all the way up where it's connected to the pen barrel. I need to check other brush pens now. Here we have a similar brush nib, the Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen. This one doesn't bend at all, only out in the tip. Oh, also I made a mess. Very interesting. Also, will these fine liners be water resistant? Let's try it out. We got smudging. Yep, big time smudging. I can create ink washes with these pens. No, not waterproof. So if I'm gonna use the inks and these for an artwork, I will have to use these last. I also want to try to mix these to get some new colors. Oh no! I knew it. I knew that it would make a mess. Gonna point it straight down. You can see now when mixing the magenta with the pink that it looks more opaque because the white is more opaque. Adding the white to the colors gives a more pastel look to them. And if I mix all of them, we get a purple gray. So yeah, that's the art supplies that I've got to work with. Let's see what we can create with these liquid inks. So I wanted to play around a little with the art supplies before I started, so I blobbed on some of the magenta and yellow paint directly on the paper and I made it in shapes of flower petals. I was inspired by the featured art print to create like a dripping effect, so I added a few green and yellow paint drips under the flowers. I tilted the paper and let the paint go down the paper to create the flower stems. The red paint from the flowers decided it wanted to go down the paper too, but I think it looks pretty neat with the two darker stems and the green one. I also added some yellow little dots over the flowers to replicate the pistils or whatever they're called, and also some leaves. Some super quick and easy semi-abstract flowers. I also did another one with the yellow ink and a little bit of magenta, and I think it didn't turn out as great as the first one, but still it is pretty. I haven't really done any bigger artworks in a while, so I wanted to make something a little more detailed, a little more refined. We're heading towards autumn season. Well, when you're watching this, it is already September, but I felt inspired to make some anemones. I'm not sure if that is how you say it, anemones, but the flower, you know, that usually bloom in early fall here. And of course, a witchy kitty. Those I draw all year round anyway. I made a sketch in Procreate as always, and I transferred it to a watercolor paper that has about the same texture as the acrylic paper that came in the box. So my idea was to make the cat sort of black or gray, and then the flowers around it would be a splash of colors. And as you may remember, there are no black paint included in the box to make a gray with, but by scribbling with this very juicy brush pen in a ceramic paint palette and then adding a bit of water to that, I created my very own ink wash, and I think it worked pretty well to paint with, even though it ended up a little patchy, a little uneven, because even if the ink is water soluble, once it dries on the paper it becomes permanent, so if it dries with any harsh edges you can't really smooth it out afterwards. But I think adding line art and maybe more details later might help to even things out a bit. For the flowers, the anemones, I wanted both a lighter pink and a darker purpley color. The pink was fairly easy, I just mixed the magenta with the white, and after mixing all the colors together when swatching the paints in the beginning, I knew it would be possible to get like a purple color even if there is no blue to mix with the magenta, but to avoid it becoming a muddy gray brown, I didn't add any yellow to it, so I took the magenta magenta and added a tiny bit of green to it. It does look very blue on camera, but it is like an emerald green, and I mixed it together and it actually turned out a very earthy, deep purple color. I added in some of the pink mixture to make it more pastel and it looks great. Hello, future me just jumping in. So I was playing around with the inks a bit more. So in the video I just mixed a tiny bit of green into the magenta and I got this deep brownish purpley color. But I noticed that when mixing more green into the magenta, you will actually get like a more bluish kind of purple. Mixing in a little more magenta. Look at this. So here you have the mixture with more magenta and here is with more green. Look at this gorgeous violet color that you get from mixing green and magenta. It is a very cool green though, almost turquoise, and turquoise has blue in it, and mixing blue with magenta it turns purple or violet, but still it looks very green, to me it does anyway. Not so much on camera though, but in real it looks more green than blue. But maybe that is why it actually works to mix these together without it turning into a muddy brown. But yeah, coloring in those flowers and working with these paints, it really feels like using watercolors or gouache even, like a very thin gouache. I'm also adding some yellow to the middle of the anemones and the eyes of the cat. It gives a bit of a warmth to the painting, which I do like. And then I mix in some yellow to the green and I start painting the leaves and the stems of the flowers. I add in a little bit of that dark purple color that I used for the flowers, a little here and there just to break up this very bright green. I want to keep the color palette a little more muted and earthy. It is a very big difference to the previous ScrawlrBox with all the glowing neon paint markers. So I paint the rest of the leaves and then I go in to add some details. The paints themselves seem to be very translucent, as I mentioned, which means that they can't really be layered, not lighter on darker colors anyway. But when adding the white, they become more opaque and I can add lighter layers on top of the darker colors. And at this point, I am really liking how the painting is turning out. I like the more transparent gray of the cat mixed with more opaque colors. So now it is time to add the line art to tie it all together, and this is always the most nervous part for me. This is where everything can go wrong, and well, but so far so good. I filled in the whole hat in this flat black color. I thought that would look nice in contrast to the more patchy gray of the cat. Then I start to outline the flowers, and this is where I start to kind of regret my decisions. I definitely think that the flowers and the leaves would benefit from some sort of outlines to make them more refined, but I don't like the black outlines. Nope, not a fan. I really like the more realistic look that they had before adding the line work. I think what I should have done is that I should have mixed up a dark paint mixture close to black but not as harsh as pure black, and then added that with a paintbrush. It would have tied it all together but still give it a softer look. So that is something that I would change if I could, but I still like how it turned out. I like the color palette and the composition. It is very cute. I hope you enjoy my little paintings. It is so fun to see how different kinds of artwork you can create with the same art supplies. Let me know which one of these you like the most. I think my favorite is actually the first one with the red flowers. It was the quickest and easiest to make, but it still made an impression. But yeah, thank you so much ScrawlrBox for the box as always, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave suggestions for what you would like to see on this channel in the future. It is super helpful for me. I hope I will see you next time. Keep drawing my happy cats. Bye!